AITA for refusing to share my meditation notes with my friend after he mocked my practice? Okay, Reddit, I need to know if I'm the jerk here. I, 28M, have this friend, Jake, 29M, who's been my buddy since college. We've always had this jokey vibe, but lately he's been getting under my skin about my meditation habit. I've been keeping detailed notes in this app called Mind Nest, stuff like breathing patterns, man I vibe with, and random thoughts that hit me during sessions. It's personal, like a diary, but Jake thinks it's hippie nonsense. Last week, he demanded I share my notes to see what the fuss is about, and when I said no, he called me selfish and stormed off. Now he's telling our friends I'm gatekeeping basic self-help crap. I feel like I'm protecting something sacred to me, but am I being a bad friend? Here's what went down. I started meditating about 2 years ago when my anxiety was spiking hard. Work was brutal, data entry at a logistics firm where my boss would hover like a hawk, and I'd come home feeling like my brain was a browser with 47 tabs open. A coworker suggested meditation, and I stumbled into this quirky little group that meets at a community garden every Saturday. It's not your typical yoga studio vibe. Picture a patchy lawn with overgrown sunflowers, mismatched lawn chairs, and this ancient oak tree we all sit under. Our guide, Priya, is a 60-something botanist with a voice like warm honey and a habit of sneaking her pet parrot, Mango, into sessions. Mango squawks at the worst times, but it's oddly endearing. The group's small. There's me, Priya, a goth barista named Raven who knits during sessions, and this retired accountant, Harold, who always brings homemade kombucha. We don't just sit in silence, we talk about what's weighing us down, then meditate to process it. I started jotting notes in Mind Nest because I'd forget the insights that hit me, like how focusing on my breath feels like hitting a reset button, or how a random mantra like, I am enough, can make me tear up. It's not just notes, it's me untangling my head. Jake's never gotten it. Back in college, we bonded over late-night pizza and arguing about superhero movies. He's a sales rep now, always hustling, and he's got this loud, sarcastic energy like he's auditioning for a sitcom. He's not a bad guy, but he's got zero filter. When I first told him about meditation, he laughed and said, "What, you're gonna levitate now?" I brushed it off, but he kept at it, calling me Guru Greg, mimicking lotus poses at bars, even posting a meme on our group chat of a monk with my face photoshopped on. I'd laughed to keep the peace, but it stung. Things escalated last month when I invited Jake to a group session. I thought maybe he'd get it if he tried it. Big mistake. He showed up in a Namaste in bed t-shirt, made a big show of clearing his chakras with fake snoring sounds, and kept whispering to me about how Priya's parrot was plotting a coup. Raven gave him death stares, and Harold spilled his kombucha trying to shush him. I was mortified. Priya was chill about it, but I apologized to everyone after. Jake just shrugged and said, "Lighten up, man, it's just a bunch of hippies breathing." Fast forward to last week. We're at my place, splitting wings and watching a basketball game. Jake scrolling on his phone, complaining about work stress, and I mention how meditation's been helping me stay calm. He rolls his eyes and goes, "Oh, your precious notes again? What's in there, the meaning of life?" I try to explain it's personal, but he doubles down, saying, "Come on, share the wisdom, Dalai Lama. Don't be stingy." I snap and say, "Why would I share it when you've been shitting on it for months?" He gets quiet, then launches into this rant about how I've changed, how I'm too good for our old jokes now, and how refusing to share my dumb notes proves I'm selfish. He grabs his jacket and leaves, slamming the door. Since then, it's been a mess. Jake's been venting to our mutual friends, spinning it like I'm hoarding some universal secret to happiness. Our group chat's blowing up. One friend, Sarah, says I should just share to keep the peace. Another, Mike, thinks Jake's being a baby. I ran into Raven at the garden yesterday, and she said, "Your friend Zora is chaos, keep your notes safe." Harold offered me kombucha and a lecture on boundaries. Priya just smiled and said, "Some people aren't ready to listen." I'm torn. On one hand, I feel like I'm protecting something that's mine. Those notes are raw, like pages of my brain. On the other, maybe I'm blowing this out of proportion? It's just notes, right? I tried texting Jake to talk it out, but he left me on read. Now I'm second-guessing myself. I don't want to lose a friend, but I also don't want to feel like I have to justify something that's helped me survive. Reddit, AITA for keeping my meditation notes to myself? Or is Jake out of line for pushing me? I just want to sit under that oak tree without this drama haunting me. AITA for telling my sister her self-improvement courses are a scam, and now she thinks I'm just jealous? Alright Reddit, I'm spiraling a bit and need your take. I, 31F, told my younger sister, Lila, 26F, that the self-improvement courses she's been obsessed with are a total ripoff. And now she's convinced I'm sabotaging her because I'm jealous of her glow-up. It's not like I screamed it at her. She asked my opinion and I gave it. But things blew up, and now she's barely speaking to me, telling everyone I'm bitter because she's leveling up. I'm worried I came off harsher than I meant, but I also think she's drinking the Kool-Aid on these shady programs. AITA, let me break it down. Lila and I grew up in a chaotic household. Think parents arguing over burnt toast while we hid in our room playing Uno to drown it out. I'm the practical one. I got a stable job as a vet tech, pay my bills, and keep my life drama-free. Lila's always been the dreamer, big ideas, zero follow-through. She'd start a blog, then abandon it. Swear she'd learn guitar, then sell it for concert tickets. I love her, but she's like a butterfly who keeps flying into windows. About a year ago, she started raving about this online self-improvement platform called RiseVibe. It's not your typical TED Talk stuff. It's this glossy, Insta-friendly ecosystem with life coaches who look like they stepped out of a skincare ad. Think webinars, ebooks, and exclusive Discord communities, all promising to unlock your infinite potential. Lila's been sinking money into it, hundreds a month, which is wild because she works part-time at a bubble tea shop and lives in a shoebox apartment with a roommate who breeds tarantulas. Don't ask. She's always posting RiseVibe quotes on her story, like, "Your vibe attracts your tribe," or "Manifest your millions," with heart eye emojis. At first, I thought it was cute. She'd show me vision boards she made on Canva, with pictures of beaches and affirmations like, "I am abundant." But then she started skipping family dinners to attend virtual energy workshops, and buying crystals she couldn't afford because her coach said they'd align her chakras. The setting for this whole mess is kind of weird. A vintage arcade bar called Pixel Haven where we meet up sometimes. It's this dimly lit spot crammed with claw machines, Pac-Man cabinets, and a jukebox that only plays 80s synth pop. Lila loves it because it's retro vibes, and I go for the cheap nachos and the chance to beat her at air hockey. Last month, we're there, and she's buzzing about her latest RiseVibe course, a $500 quantum confidence bootcamp. She's fidgeting with this chunky amethyst ring she bought for protection, and showing me a PDF workbook on her phone with prompts like, "What's your soul's ROI?" I'm trying not to roll my eyes, but she catches my vibe and goes, "You think this is stupid, don't you?" I dodge at first, saying I just don't get it, but she pushes, asking what I really think. So I let it out gently, I thought. I said the courses seem like a money grab, that the coaches are just influencers with good branding, and that she's spending more than she earns on promises that sound like fortune cookies. I pointed out she's been at it for a year, and she's still stressed, still broke, still chasing the next big breakthrough. I wasn't trying to crush her. I just wanted her to see she's worth more than some Zoom guru's upsell. But her face crumpled like I'd slapped her. She snapped, "You're just jealous because I'm finally growing and you're stuck in your boring life." Then she accused me of always judging her, saying I act like I'm Miss Perfect because I have a 401k and a cat that doesn't pee on the rug. It got worse. Lila started crying, mascara smudging, voice shaking, and said RiseVibe was the first thing that made her feel like she could be someone. She said her coach, some guy named Xander with a man bun and a verified TikTok, told her people like me would try to dim her light because we're scared of change. I tried to backtrack, saying I just wanted her to be careful, but she wasn't hearing it. She threw a crumpled $10 bill on the table for her drink, said, "You don't get to decide what's good for me," and stormed out, nearly tripping over a skee-ball machine. Since then, it's been radio silence. I texted her a few days later, apologizing if I hurt her but doubling down that I'm worried about her money. She replied with a single line, "Stop projecting your fears on me." Ouch. My mom called, saying Lila's been venting to her, claiming I'm toxic for not supporting her journey. Even Lila's roommate, Tara, who I only met once when I helped Lila move in, messaged me on Insta, saying I should let Lila shine. Apparently, Lila posted a vague RiseVibe quote on her story. "Some people aren't ready for your evolution, and everyone knows it's about me." I feel like I'm in a cult movie. I'm gutted because I didn't mean to make her feel small. Lila's always been sensitive and I know she's searching for something to hold onto. But I can't shake the feeling that Rise vibe is bleeding her dry, her bank account, and her common sense. I snooped a bit, don't judge, and found Xander's ex account where he's shilling $2,000 masterminds and dodging questions about refunds. It's sketchy as hell. But now I'm wondering if I should have kept my mouth shut. Maybe she needs to figure this out herself, even if it means crashing. Or maybe I am jealous, not of her, but of how fearless she is chasing dreams, even dumb ones, while I'm just safe. Reddit, AITA for calling out her self-improvement obsession? Or should I have let her keep chasing her quantum confidence in peace? I just want my sister back, but now I'm the villain in her Pinterest perfect narrative. ITA for ditching my friend's party to read a book, and now they're calling me boring? Alright, Reddit, I need some perspective because I'm feeling like the odd one out here. I, 24F, skipped a big party my friends threw last weekend to stay home and finish a novel, and now they're acting like I've betrayed them. They've been texting me stuff like, "You're turning into a grandma," and joking that I'd rather marry a library than hang out. I thought I was just taking a night for myself, but they're making me feel like I'm morphing into some dull hermit. Did I screw up by choosing a book over their bash? Here's the full story. I've always been the quiet one in our friend group, which formed back in high school when we bonded over late-night diner runs and sneaking into bad horror movies. There's 5 of us: me, Cassie, the loud planner who's always got a new scheme; Leo, a gym bro with a heart of gold; Priya, queen of snarky one-liners; and Sam, the chill artist who's allergic to schedules. We're tight, but they're all about big nights out, bars, house parties, karaoke marathons. I love hanging with them, but sometimes their energy feels like chugging an energy drink when I just want tea. Lately, I've been craving quieter stuff, like long walks with my earbuds in or curling up with a book. I don't post about it on X or anything. It's just my little escape. The setting for this drama is kind of niche. Cassie's apartment, which is basically a shrine to her obsession with urban foraging. She's got jars of pickled ramps on every shelf, a balcony jungle of herbs, and a fridge stocked with homemade nettle tea. Her parties are legendary, think fairy lights, a Spotify playlist called Vibe Apocalypse, and a rotating cast of randos she met at a farmer's market. Last weekend, she planned this blowout for Leo's 25th birthday. The group chat was popping off for days, Priya promising to bring her infamous spicy margaritas, Sam sketching custom coasters, Cassie hyping a mushroom-themed cake. She swears it's not that kind. I was excited at first, even picked out a thrifted denim jacket to wear. But here's where it gets real. Work's been kicking my ass. I'm a graphic designer at a startup where my boss thinks urgent is a personality trait. I've been pulling late nights tweaking logos for a client who changes their mind every 12 hours. By Friday, I was fried, like my brain was a phone at 2% battery. All I wanted was to crash with this book I'd been reading, The Starless Sea. It's this gorgeous, twisty story about secret libraries and magical doors, and I was 100 pages from the end, dying to know how it wrapped up. I told myself I'd still go to the party, just needed a quick recharge. Saturday hits, and I'm on my couch, book in hand, a lavender candle flickering on my coffee table. My apartment's tiny, with a lumpy thrift store sofa and a window that overlooks a neon taco shop sign. I'm in my coziest sweatshirt, sipping chamomile, and the world just fades. The book's pulling me in hard. Every page feels like a puzzle piece clicking. I glance at my phone, and it's 7 p.m. The party's starting. Cassie texts, "Yo, where you at?" Leo's already shirtless, lol. I mean to reply, but I'm mid-chapter, and I think, I'll head over soon. Spoiler, I don't. By 9 p.m., I'm done with the book, crying over the ending because it's that good. I check my phone and it's a war zone. Missed calls from Priya, a voice note from Sam going, "You alive, nerd?" and a group chat thread blowing up. Cassie posted a blurry pic of the cake, a lopsided chocolate thing with candy mushrooms, and wrote, "Wish you cared enough to show, bookworm. Oof." I text back, "Sorry, got lost in a book, happy birthday, Leo," but it lands like a wet sock. Leo replies, "Lame," with a shrug emoji. Priya chimes in, "You're gonna turn into that lady who talks to her plants." Even Sam, who's usually chill, says, "Reading's cool, but ditching us kinda sucks." I figured they'd get over it, but it's been a week, and the vibe's off. Monday, I met Priya for coffee at our usual spot. A hole in the wall with mismatched mugs and a barista who always draws hearts in the foam. She kept teasing me about ghosting them, saying I'm too boring for glitter now. Cassie's party had a glitter cannon. Don't ask. Leo's been spamming me with TikToks of party highlights. Like I need to see what I missed. Cassie's the worst. She cornered me on X. Dmang. You used to be fun, what happened? I tried explaining I was exhausted and needed a night off. But she said, we're all tired. That's why we party. Sam's the only one who kinda gets it. He texted me yesterday asking what the book was about. But even he said I should have at least shown up for cake. Now I'm second-guessing everything. I didn't think one night would make me the group pariah. But they're acting like I've renounced friendship for a library card. I love them. But I also love carving out time for myself. The book felt like a mini vacation, and I don't regret reading it, but I hate that they feel blown off. I apologized in the group chat, offered to host a chill movie night to make up for it, but Cassie just replied, only if you leave your novels at home. Harsh. Reddit, AITA for skipping the party to read? Or are my friends overreacting because I didn't match their energy for once? I just want to hang with them without feeling like I'm auditioning for Fun Friend of the Year. AITA for asking my coworker to stop interrupting my motivational podcast and now he thinks I'm full of myself? Reddit, I'm stuck in a weird spot and need your take. I29M asked my coworker, Derek, 34M, to quit chatting me up while I'm listening to my morning podcast at work and he flipped out calling me arrogant and saying I act like I'm above everyone. All I wanted was 20 minutes of focus to start my day, but now he's got half the office side-eyeing me. I'm wondering if I came off like a jerk without meaning to or if he's blowing this out of proportion. Here's what happened. I work at a mid-sized marketing firm in a converted warehouse downtown. Think exposed brick, beanbag chairs, and a coffee machine that's always broken. It's a creative vibe, but the open-plan office means zero privacy. My desk is next to Derek's, and he's the kind of guy who treats every morning like a talk show. He'll roll in, slurping an iced latte, and launch into stories about his fantasy football league or the time he almost met Post Malone at a dive bar. I like him, he's got this contagious laugh and always shares his snacks. Those spicy Doritos hit different, but the dude doesn't read the room. I'm a copywriter, so my brain needs a warm-up before I can churn out snappy ad slogans. About 6 months ago, I started listening to this podcast, Mindset Fuel, to get in the zone. It's not your cheesy, you are a unicorn fluff, more like practical pep talks on focus and resilience, hosted by this ex-pro skateboarder, Tara, who's got a voice like she smoked one too many cigarettes. I pop in my earbuds at 9 a.m., sip my gas station energy drink, don't judge, and let it play while I organize my inbox. It's my ritual, like how Derek needs his playlist of 90s rap to survive client calls. The trouble started because Derek's interruptions were killing my flow. I'd be halfway through a podcast episode, say, Tara's talking about shutting out distractions, when he'd lean over, tap my desk, and go, yo, you see that TikTok of the dog on a skateboard? I'd pause, fake a smile, and say something like, nah, send it to me. But inside, I'm screaming because now I've lost my train of thought. It wasn't just once, try 3 times a morning, every morning. He'd riff about his weekend, ask me to proofread his emails, or offer me a gummy worm from the stash he keeps in his drawer. I tried subtle hints, keeping my earbuds in, nodding without looking up, but Derek's immune to subtlety. Last Tuesday, I hit my limit. It was crunch time for a big campaign pitch, and I was already stressed because my boss, Karen, kept sending me urgent Slack messages with zero context. I'm at my desk, earbuds in, Mindset Fuel playing an episode about setting boundaries. Ironic, right? Derek rolls in late, wearing a Hawaiian shirt loud enough to wake a coma patient, and starts yapping about a new craft brewery he hit up. I pause the podcast, give him a quick cool, man, and plug back in. 5 minutes later, he's back, asking if I think our intern's new haircut makes her look like a K-pop star. I snap, not loud, but firm. I pull out one earbud and say, hey, Derek, can you hold off for a bit? I'm trying to focus on this podcast. It's kind of important to me. His face changes, like I'd just told him his dog ran away. He leans back, crosses his arms, and goes, wow, didn't realize you were too good for a conversation now. I'm caught off guard, so I mumble something about needing to prep for a meeting, but he's not done. He says, what's that podcast teaching you, how to be arrogant? You're not the only one with work, bro. Then he grabs his latte and storms off to the break room, leaving me staring at my monitor like an idiot. By lunch, it's a full-blown thing. Derek's telling anyone who'll listen that I shut him down because I think I'm some big shot. Our coworker Lila, who's sweet but gossips like it's her cardio, asks me if I'm okay because I seemed kinda cold to Derek. Even the intern gives me a weird look when I pass her in the hall. I try to clear the air later that day, catch Derek by the vending machine and say, "Hey, didn't mean to upset you, I just need a little space in the mornings." He cuts me off with, "Whatever, man, keep your guru vibes to yourself," and walks away. Now he's giving me the silent treatment, which is worse than his chatter because it's awkward as hell sitting 6 inches apart. I'm torn. On one hand, I feel like I was just sticking up for my sanity. The podcast isn't just noise, it's how I stay grounded when work's a pressure cooker. I wasn't trying to flex or act superior, I just needed Derek to respect my space for, 20 minutes. But maybe I was too blunt? I could have said it nicer, like, "Hey, let's chat after I'm done." Now I'm wondering if he feels judged, like I think his small talk's beneath me. He's not a bad guy, just loud. And yeah, I'll admit I'm not great at confrontation, I probably sounded snippier than I meant. Reddit, AITA for asking Derek to back off during my podcast time? Or did I accidentally come off like some self-important jerk? I just want to sip my monster, listen to Tara's gravelly wisdom, and not start a workplace soap opera. AITA for not hyping my friend's marathon goal when she wasn't even training for it? Reddit, I'm caught in a mess and need to know if I'm the bad guy here. My friend Mia, 27F, announced she's running a marathon in 3 months, and I, 26F, didn't exactly cheer her on because honestly, she's done zero prep. When I pointed that out, she lost it, saying I'm unsupportive and crapping on her dreams. Now she's icing me out and our mutual friends are giving me grief for being negative. I thought I was just being real, but maybe I was too harsh. Let me lay it out. Mia and I met 4 years ago at a pottery class, total cliché, 2 gals bonding over lumpy mugs. She's a firecracker, loud laugh, always planning some wild adventure like skydiving or a pop-up drag brunch. I'm more low-key, happy with my bullet journal and weekend hikes. We click because she pulls me out of my shell and I keep her from, say, impulse buying a pet iguana. Our hangout spot is this quirky rooftop gym called Skypulse, less CrossFit, more Vibe-Y fitness with fairy lights and a smoothie bar that names drinks after zodiac signs. We go for yoga classes, but mostly we gossip on the turf while pretending to stretch. Mia's always chasing big goals, she'll declare she's launching a candle business or learning Japanese, then drop it when it gets hard. Last month, over Virgo Vibe smoothies, she said she's running the CityPulse Marathon. It's a huge deal, 26.2 miles through downtown with cheering crowds and a finish line by the river. I was stoked for her at first, running a marathon's badass. But then she started talking it up like it was already done, posting on X about her marathon era with hashtags like #RunTheWorld, buying $200 sneakers, even booking a celebratory Airbnb for after. I asked if she'd started training and she laughed it off, saying, "I've got time, I'll just vibe it out." Here's the thing, I've run a half marathon before, so I know it's brutal without prep. My training was months of early mornings, shin splints, and chugging electrolyte drinks that taste like regret. Mia? She's not running. At all. We hit Skypulse for yoga twice a week, but she skips cardio, saying it's boring. I checked her Strava, nada, just a few walks to the smoothie bar. She's still eating like it's cheat day every day, no shade, her taco obsession is valid, but marathons don't care about your vibe. I kept quiet for a bit, hoping she'd start jogging or something, but by last week, 10 weeks out, she was still all talk, no miles. The blow-up happened at Skypulse during a sunset yoga session. Picture us on neon mats, fairy lights twinkling, the instructor droning about inner peace while Mia's whispering about her marathon playlist. She's going on about how she'll manifest the finish line, and I just couldn't bite my tongue anymore. After class, as we're rolling up mats, I say, "Mia, are you actually training? Marathons are no joke, you could get hurt if you don't prep." Her smile drops. She goes, "Wow, thanks for the faith in me." I try to explain calmly, I swear that it's not about doubt, it's about reality. You need to run, 20 miles a week by now minimum. She snaps, "Not everyone needs to obsess like you." I'll be fine. It escalates fast. She's raising her voice, saying I'm jealous because she's seizing life while I'm playing it safe. I'm stunned. Safe? I'm just not delusional. I tell her she's setting herself up to crash, that vibing won't carry her 26 miles. She fires back, "You're supposed to be my friend, not my coach. Why can't you just support me?" People are staring now. Some guy mid-plank is full-on eavesdropping. I lower my voice and say, I do support you, but I don't want you limping at mile 10. She grabs her water bottle, mutters, forget it, and storms off, leaving me with a half-rolled mat and a pit in my stomach. Now it's a whole thing. Mia's been venting to our yoga crew and I'm getting texts from our friend Jess like, why'd you have to rain on her parade? Another pal, Nico, says I should have just nodded and let her figure it out. Mia posted a cryptic X story, some quote about haters disguised as friends, and yeah, that stung. She's not answering my texts, not even the one where I apologized for upsetting her but doubled down that I'm worried. I checked her Strava again, creepy, maybe, and still no runs, though she logged a meditative walk with a selfie in her new sneakers. I'm kicking myself because I didn't mean to dim her spark. Mia's got this infectious zest, and I'd hate to see her crushed by a DNF or worse, injured. But maybe I should have kept my mouth shut and let her dream big even if it's doomed. I know how hard it is to hear you're not ready. I've been there with my own goals. But I also think friends should be honest, not just cheerleaders. Now I'm wondering if I sounded like a know-it-all or if she's mad because deep down she knows I'm right. Reddit, AITA for not hyping Mia's marathon plan when she's not training? Or should I have just smiled and let her chase the fantasy? I just want us to be sipping Scorpio spritzes at Skypulse again without this cloud hanging over us.